Ever go to bed at night and still feel hungry? Well, for about 1.3 million New Yorkers, this is an everyday reality. Unfortunately, children are the biggest victims of the hunger epidemic that our city faces. The numbers are quite jarring. Nearly 25% of New York City children experience hunger on the daily. Part of the reason for this is the increasing unaffordability of our city. The median asking rent in the Big Apple has increased by about 2.3% annually since 2019, and inflation across the country has raised the price of groceries. For parents of children in New York City, putting food on the table has become as hard as scoring a 1600 on the SAT. Feeding our children shouldn't be that difficult. Part of what makes this issue so serious is that widespread attempts to combat it haven't worked. For example, in 2015, U.S. food banks served about 46 million people. However, as is clear today, the effort and others like it have been unsuccessful in putting an end to food insecurity. Who does this kind of food insecurity tend to affect most? Unfortunately, the answer lies in lower class people of color. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the New York State Department of Health and Mental Hygiene reported that Latino and Black New Yorkers were more than twice as likely to report having less access to emergency food services. You heard that right, twice as likely. Despite failed attempts in the past to counter this issue, all hope isn't lost. In fact, New Yorkers are fortunate that there are several ways for us to tackle the problem. For one, increasing eligibility to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as the Food Stamp Program, can result in many more families having access to a stable nutritional food plan. The federal government can also help out by increasing the child tax credit, a tax break families take for qualifying children. The Office of the New York State Comptroller in 2023 reported that recipients of the Enhanced Federal Child Tax Credit reported greater declines in food insecurity than non-recipients. In closing, food insecurity is one of the biggest crises that our city has faced in the post-pandemic era. Frankly, it is unacceptable that the greatest city on earth struggles to feed a quarter of its children. However, part of what makes us the greatest city is our ability to acknowledge and respond to the problems we face. If we New Yorkers can petition our local representatives and politicians to vote on bills that extend eligibility for food stamps and tax breaks for struggling families, less of our city's children will suffer from hunger. Let's do our part to ensure that our city's children are fed.